What's up, guys? How's it going, everybody? My name is Blitzwinger. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again, live once again for a brand new edition of Injustice 2. Let's rank some armors. And this is actually the second edition of this particular series. If you guys enjoyed, please, first and foremost, do not call this Injustice 2 fashion show. I swear, I don't get the whole fashion show thing. And for those of you that call it that, don't. Please. Serious. Don't. I know the entire comment section now is probably going to be just entirety. Oh, bro, this was a great fashion show. But regardless, ladies and gents, we are back at it again with a brand new edition of the evaluating of armors in Injustice 2. Of course, come along on this ride with me. I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, hit the like button. We are indeed aiming for 500 likes, and should we hit that goal, there will be another edition of this series next week. Let's get rocking and rolling. And so here we go. We got our first armor here for this week, and I gotta say, guys, you guys are legit kind of cheating. I'm not gonna lie, because the vast majority of the submissions that I got for this week were all black and red armors. I know you guys really kind of picked up on the fact that that's my favorite color combination, but please, oh please, if you're submitting armors, please submit a different characters. Doesn't have to be Batman and Bane. It can be different variety of characters, and it does not have to be black and red, just for the sake of variety. I can't be just going on ahead and evaluating only different combinations of black and red for Batman and Bane. So please, oh please, if you're submitting any entries for this series, please keep that in mind. All right, let's get rocking and rolling. So our first one comes to us from Green Machine, and as you can see, it is a black and red combination for Robin. Now, of course, if you don't know, guys, by the way, rate these designs along with me down in the comment section below. Drop your rating for your favorite, least favorite, and of course any other standouts that you have for today's lineup. So back to the skin at hand, we have Green Machine submitting Robin here, and I gotta say, I really like the sleek simplicity of this particular look. Like, I actually like the pieces that you chose for the armor, and the red highlights are impeccably well done. Particularly, the thing I would like to point you guys to is the fact that the outer part of the cape looks like it's black, because that's how it lands on the front part of the actual hood. But then the inside, and you can see it on the inside of the hood as well, is burgundy red. It's a really, really cool combo that works super duper well. And so for that alone, I'm gonna go on ahead and give this one a pretty strong starting rating with 8.5 out of 10. Next up from Green Machine, very fitting with your name. I keep wanting to call you Green Machine. By the way, this one was actually submitted over on the Discord. Don't forget, there is 2 different methods by which you can, or I guess 3 different methods that you can go on ahead and submit designs. Discord is the easiest. There's an actual channel on there called the Injustice 2 Armor channel. So click that channel and then you'll see the instructions about how to submit your designs. Or you can go on ahead and tweet at me or tag me on Instagram at Blitzwinger. Thank you so very much for doing that. So Green Machine, who I keep wanting to call Green Machine, submits this really, really cool design of Sub-Zero, making him look like, is it Poison, I believe is the name of that ninja from Mortal Kombat? I'm sure some people, like maybe Dude J, will correct me because he's very knowledgeable on Mortal Kombat stuff. So I like this combo. I really like the idea of the highlighted green within the ice. I really like in general for Sub-Zero the fact that that is kind of a common pattern that we've seen throughout the different designs. Like, we've seen the red inside the ice, which looks cool, but this almost looks like maybe like alien blood or some sort of, maybe even like Green Lantern energy within the ice. So it looks really cool. I think for that, I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10. I know we dropped down from the last design. I do like it a little bit better, but I think that this is still a pretty solid rating. Again, 8 out of 10 is a pretty good score. Okay, so we have our next submission, and this one comes to us from AMC over on the Discord page again. And I'm not sure if it's the movie theater chain, probably not. It'd be kind of weird if they were actually submitting designs, but regardless, it's AMC, and he or she submits a pretty interesting looking Superman. I don't know if I love this design or like this design or dislike it. Or actually, you know what? I don't dislike it, that's for sure. The first thought that comes to mind as soon as I saw this particular look is Man of Steel. And I don't mean like the movie. I mean, like, he literally looks like a man of steel. And it's kind of an interesting take to go on ahead and give Superman something that is not like a cloth attire and more so like literally an armor that makes him look like he is a man of steel. I think that's an interesting idea. The only thing I don't particularly care for is the color combination. I feel like the gunmetal gray is just a little bit like too diluted. I wish that it was either a more vibrant color combination, or if you wanted to stick with this kind of profile, if it was possible to get the dark grays and grays to be even darker, like a black maybe, I think it would pop a lot better. But other than that, oh, and also I just realized he has a completely unique logo as well. Like, it's kind of, it almost looks like a lightning bolt for like Flash sort of, and then also somewhat makeshift Superman looking. I don't know, this one is really like odd, so I'm gonna give it a 7.5 because I feel like that's a fair rating for a skin that looks cool but has some things that I don't particularly care for. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. Okay. So speaking about armors that I'm not 100% sure about, okay, so this is a very alien looking Batman. This almost looks like something that Zack Snyder would design if he was like, yo, I need an evil Batman. This is kind of what he would come up with. Like, it almost reminds me a little bit of Doomsday, or not even Doomsday, Steppenwolf, I guess, right? From the new Justice League movie that's releasing this week as well. I just think that it looks very like spiky. It's a little bit too bulky for me for Batman. I like the design to remain a little bit more sleek and athletic for Batman. So I'm not really sure if I'm a huge fan of the bulkiness of the character. I like the color combination. I like the uniqueness of the helmet as well. But for me personally, I'm sorry, AMC, this is the weakest design we've seen so far. So I got to give it a 5 out of 10. There's a couple of things I like, but overall, it just seems like a little bit too many mishmash parts and pieces for me. But I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys think. Okay, and so for our last design submitted by AMC, it is a Harley Quinn design, which is the first time that we've seen Harley appear on these showcases, I believe at least. Looks pretty cool. It's kind of a, I don't know how different it is to the regular Harley. I'm trying to like remember from the top of my head just like what she usually looks like in Injustice. And so I think that there's some uniqueness to like the torso. I don't think she has that type of an attire for the torso by default. So I think that that's definitely unique. The pistols are obviously a unique design as well. I like the color combination. The blue and red does work. I would probably go on ahead and give this one a solid 6.5 out of 10. I wish the head maybe was like a little bit more redesigned, because I guess maybe it just looks a little bit like generic compared to the rest of the attire, if that makes sense. Okay, holy moly. Next up, Tristan Pena hits it out of the park with a pretty ridiculously cool looking Flash. Now, I know that I'm going to sound like a hypocrite because I just said that I think for some of the more athletic characters, it seems a little odd when they're overly bulky, but I don't know why this design actually kind of works for the Flash, even though he does seem a little bit bulkier than usual. And again, when you're a speedster, you probably want to not have a whole lot of armor because that probably prevents you from actually like being able to run as quickly as you could otherwise. But I love the color choice here with the nth metal gear recolor. Looks sick. I also really like the actual helmet design. I've always felt like it's kind of a cool take to give Flash like a full-on helmet, as though he needs a way to be able to like maybe breathe as he's running underwater or something like that. He's able to continuously breathe using some sort of a breathing apparatus. So I think from a storyline perspective, this actually makes a lot of sense for the character. I like the color combination, and I think that this design works really well within the Injustice universe. And so for all of those reasons, I think I'm going to give this, tying the best score of the week, an 8.5 out of 10. And by the way, I'm being a lot more harsh with my ratings now because you guys were all roasting me in the comments on the last one saying, bro, you give everything 9. Stop giving out 9 so easily. So I'm trying to be more harsh now with the ratings and make sure that we are saving the best scores for truly, truly standout armors that we will see, hopefully, down the line. Hoo-wee! Wowzers! Can I get a Bizarro in the chat or in the comments. That is an undead Superman if I've ever seen one. That looks terrifying. Seriously, that looks almost like if Superman had ruled over the Injustice DC universe for decades upon decades, to the point where maybe he's even like fused with like Doomsday or Darkseid or something like that, because he looks like he's made out of stone, like the actual skin tone. A very unique looking S logo. I love the shoulder pads, the cape. I like that it actually has like a unique shape to it. That's cool. And the overall look of the armor, like it looks a lot more like a military general or something like that. It's a sick looking design. I think, even though I don't particularly love like the face design and everything, like the actual printing on the face, and maybe I think it'd be cool if there was a different actual helmet piece, but I think that this is the best design we've seen so far, so I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. It's just a very, very unique looking character, and I can kind of, like, as you saw, write an immediate story for why would Superman look like that. Like, I was able to immediately come up with reasoning within the Injustice 2 universe. I think you knocked it out of the park with that one, Tristan. Ooh, dude. And last but certainly not least, from Tristan Pena, we get a sick looking Green Arrow. Again, I know some people are going to say, bro, you're being a hypocrite, but here's what I'm going to say. On the Flash design, I like that super kind of metallic sheen. I think it works for that character of the Flash. For Green Arrow, I tend to more so lean towards the fact that he uses green or dark green as kind of a camouflage. I know it sounds ridiculous because most of the time he operates within metropolis cities. So it's like, does he really think he's going to blend in with the environment wearing dark green? So I get that, but I just don't know if I love having that shine. Like, I almost feel like if it was a matte green, it would look a little bit cooler. The actual armor itself is fantastic. I like that it actually looks like he's wearing like a Kevlar armor, because a character like Green Arrow who doesn't have superpowers, it makes sense that he would wear something like that. The hoodie looks cool. The bow design is really sick. The gauntlets, everything is really great about the armor. It's just the recolor that I would change. And the one other thing that I would consider possibly is figuring out a hoodie design or a face design, like a head design, I guess, that makes the head look a little bit bigger. Because I don't know why. Maybe it's just the angle of the picture. It makes his head look like it's a little bit shrunken down relative to how broad his shoulders are. So that would be my critique there. And for that, I give it an 8 out of 10. Holy moly. So there we go. Back to black and red combinations. But that might be the most unique, at least for the face design, Bane that I've ever seen. I personally have never seen that helmet ever before, where it literally seems like his entire face mask is either an energy source, some sort of a light, or maybe it's literally the toxin that is pumping throughout his veins. It's all, I guess, like within inside his helmet. That's a terrifying looking design. Again, black and red, I love that combo. That helmet is so unique looking. I think I'm going to give this one a 7.5 out of 10, just because aside from the helmet, nothing else stands out. And to be fair, maybe that was the idea. Draw your entire attention to the head design while all the other parts are kind of default looking. So maybe, I think if you go that wild with the head piece, you should have gone with like some crazy shoulder pads, just something to go all out and just make him look absolutely over the top. And next up, we got another Harley Quinn design. This one does have a different helmet design. She's actually wearing a helmet, kind of almost like a motorcycle helmet, a very unique looking blaster as well. Almost looks like something out of Halo. At least that's the first impression that I got. By the way, I also do want to mention these designs are, of course, submitted by Reese the dog. You'll always see that on the screen, by the way. I always give a shout out to the person that is actually submitting the designs to be rated. I will say, I think that this combination works a tad bit better. Kind of has Bret Hart and the Hart Foundation vibes with the black and pink. Again, my critique only here would be that I wish it actually was black and pink, because I feel like, again, this could be a case of the submission. Maybe the colors of the actual screenshot that you took are a little bit washed out, but the pink looks great. However, the black part of the costume looks a little bit more like dark gray or like gunmetal gray. I wish it was like properly black because I think that saturation would have popped much nicer. I like the helmet design again. I think that I'm going to go on ahead and give this one a 7.5 out of 10. Holy moly. And for the last design from Reese the Doggo, you have a terrifying, and I mean petrifying looking Scarecrow. That is crazy looking. That legit looks like a boss fight out of like Bloodborne or Dark Souls or something like that. Like that does not even look like Scarecrow. He's got that kind of like raven crow mask thing, which is always terrifying. It's a little bit difficult to make out if you gave him a unique hook. I don't think you did. It looks like the default one, at least from where I'm looking at. I like the idea of using the dark red. I think it actually works really well, particularly because you can see that eye kind of like glowing up like that. It looks quite terrifying. And I also like the Scarecrow hat that you chose. So overall, I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. Okay, so next up we got David Hartsburg, who submitted such a ridiculous amount of designs that he will probably be appearing on future episodes as well. You will see some crazy armors today and down the line. The only thing I would say, David, if you can, please get higher resolution images, because as you can see, I try to do my best to like sharpen the images, but because you went ahead and sent them through Instagram, they're a little bit lower resolution than I'd like them to be, because ideally if they're a higher resolution, then we can actually see a lot more of the details. So please, if you can, resubmit some of your designs with a higher resolution file. That would be tremendous, just because these designs are redonkulous. So first and foremost, our very first submission of Dr. Fate. I love this look. This kind of looks similar to the design that we saw for Black Adam, where it was the gold and dark red sort of design, almost orangey red. This is a very similar take. It almost seems like those two could like team up and start up their own like Justice Society or something. This is a really cool take. I love how majestic and royal this design looks. I like that the helmet has those like unique spikes like sticking out. It looks super sick. This is a very strong first entry, as you get an 8.5 out of 10. Okay, next up, I think this might be our first Green Lantern design, and of course this one is not green at all. This is more so a yellow lantern. Now, I like this design a lot. First of all, the yellow color just looks really cool and stands out. You don't really see many people actually choose a yellow shader for any character. So it's really cool that we get to see that here, that kind of almost like mustard yellow. So I think that that looks cool just for the sake of it being different and unique. It makes sense with the yellow lanterns or the multicolored lanterns. So I think that that looks super duper sick as well. My one critique is that I wish you would have actually gone ahead with a different design for the face, just because I feel like it makes it look like just generic kind of soldier guy, maybe like a grunt in the Yellow Lantern army. I wish there would be something on the face, ideally, I guess, that would kind of make the character more unique. Even if it is Hal Jordan, or even if it looks more like Hal Jordan, I think it would at least have a bit more personality, whereas it does look a little bit generic because of the choice of the helmet. But aside from that, I really like this design, so I'm still gonna go on ahead and give it a solid 7 out of 10. What the heck is that? So you got Joker, which, by the way, I think is the single ugliest design in Injustice. That's just personally me. I don't like this design of the Joker whatsoever. It's just this weird, I don't know. I don't like the way that default Joker looks, and I don't like the vast majority of the Joker designs in this game. So I'm going to be very biased here when I'm judging this one. With that in mind, I do like the idea of him wearing a Batman cowl. I just think that that's super duper unique and something that we don't see very often, particularly for any playable characters. If it ever happens, it's usually a cutscene or something like that. So it's cool to have a playable character with that look. But aside from that, I don't like anything about this character. I don't like the weird, like, kind of armor plating that he has. I don't like the random knee pad that's green. The trench coat doesn't really work for me. The weird armory bits on the shoulder pads where it's like, are you trying to be Batman Who Laughs? I don't know. I just don't really like the Joker design overall. And aside from the face, I don't really care for this design whatsoever. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give this one a 3 out of 10. That's the lowest rating so far. Dang. Okay, next up, we got another Scarecrow design, and this one looks quite interesting. He's got a top hat, so this is like a British Scarecrow, maybe like what was his name? Cillian Murphy, I think, or something like that. The guy that actually played Scarecrow in the movies. He is British, so I guess maybe it would fit if he ever did a take on Scarecrow that was this over the top. Maybe he could rock a top hat as well. I think that that's a cool look. It's definitely different. I don't think I've seen that before being utilized. I don't know why I feel like on this image, the main issue, the main point of criticism is just the resolution file. And that's why I keep mentioning to you guys, when you submit these designs, make sure you submit a high resolution screenshot, because you could wind up with something like this where maybe this design is a lot cooler if we could actually see some of the details like on the actual design. Because aside from the top hat, we don't really see the torso. Like, it looks like he's got some buttons, it looks like he's got a bandana hanging down, but I can't quite tell just because the image is in such low resolution. So with that in mind, with that caveat, I should say, I'm going to go on ahead and give this one a 6.5 out of 10. Holy moly. Okay, let's get a standing ovation. We got to get a standing ovation. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up and give us a clap, because my good googly moogly, could you have a design with more personality than that? Hellboy, he's got the cigarette, he's got the epic Doomfist. I mean, look at that. He's got like metal wrapping. I love the overall white and silver color scheme. The horns design that you went with looks sick. The armor plating where it's necessary, like where it actually kind of makes sense, like on the shoulders, on the knees, looks super duper cool, and again fits the character. I think that this is by far the best design we've seen, and so for that, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. David Hartsberg, thank you. As you can see, I also did manage to get this image to sharpen a lot more, and so it looks a lot more crisp than some of the other ones, and you can see how much of a difference that makes. You can see all the details of all the little armor pieces and kind of the components that really tell the story of what you're going for with this particular look. And so there you have it, peeps. We're done with another one. So, of course, if you guys did enjoy this week's Injustice 2 fashion show, I mean, not a fashion show, I should say. Nope. Definitely not a fashion show. Hit that thumbs up button. Let me know what other designs you want to go on ahead and maybe see on next week's episode, assuming you guys want to see more of these in the future. Go on ahead and submit your designs. And please, again, please make sure to keep it varied if you can, just because I've been getting so many designs for Batman and Bane, and the vast majority of them are black and red. Just for the sake of variety, it's so nice to be able to see some of these other colors and some of these other characters. It's a huge roster with lots and lots of options and possibilities, so keep that in mind when you're placing your submissions. Thanks out for watching today's video. Hit the thumbs up button if you guys enjoyed, and I do indeed hope to see you guys here next time. Peace out. See you later, alligators. Bye-bye, everybody.